A single season high 21 runs in the Mariners' 15-run victory over the Brewster Whitecaps, and it completed with a completely balanced order as the Mariners took their biggest victory on the season and were able to cement their playoff hopes as they now have clinched in the Cape Cod East Division standings. Hello, everyone, and welcome in to Red Wilson Fields as it is a beautiful afternoon for Cape Cod baseball between two division opponents. The top-seeded Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox at 22-16 and the Harwich Mariners at 17-21 with a tie. A huge afternoon for the Mariners as they look to go for back-to-back wins here after winning their divisional clash last night. With only 3 divisional clashes after here today, the Mariners need as many wins as they can get. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Novak here with you on the Harwich Mariners Network. We appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday evening with wind blowing out to left field, and it's a breezy one here at a place where the Harwich Mariners have yet to beat the Red Sox this season, and it's Red Wilson Field. An early start today, and Devin, first, we have to go back to last night. The Mariners, they got 21 runs, and Brewster had a few answers early on, but ultimately it was a dominant outing from the lineup aside from 4 1/3 innings of scoreless relief from Jake Newman.
Yeah, it came down to Harwich just capitalizing on mistakes made by Brewster. They got 9 unanswered runs back in inning number 2 or 3, and that really carried them the rest of the way. They were able to build off of it, be relentless, keep their foot on the gas the entire rest of the game, going on to score another 12 runs after that. It was an impressive offensive performance from start to finish, fueled by 2 4-hit nights. First from Ethan Anderson, who was absolutely sensational, and then from Devin Obi, who tallied his team-high 4th home run of the season as well. Really looking forward to seeing how it rolls out here tonight.
Well, it's a tall right-hander on the mound for the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox, not by the name of Cal Steven, Devin, out of Purdue. He has owned the matchup here against the Mariners, pitching nearly 20 innings in 3 starts this season. Instead, it'll be Smith Pinson at 6'8", 225, the sophomore of Kennesaw State, and actually had the lowest ERA at just under 2.3 with a 3-2 mark. 4 saves at Kennesaw State. He was the most versatile pitcher that the Owls had this past season. And leading off for the Harwich Mariners, the third baseman, number 12, Kevin Keister of Maryland. The shortstop, Alec Amadio, he bats second. The center fielder, Elijah Lambros of Maryland, number 25, bats third. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 24, Devin Obi out of Duke. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Boston College, number 27, Cameron Leary. Batting sixth, the designated hitter in Brian Arndt. He wears number 11. Talmadge LeCroy out of South Carolina. He plays first base and bats seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher, Andrew Yu at number 14. And rounding out the starting 9 for 20th year field manager Steve Englert, the second baseman, number 21, Daniel Rivera. Kevin Keister digs in as Smith Pinson is ready from the middle of the slab. He rocks and fires the first pitch. A curveball that goes down the middle for strike number 1. Underway at 4:32 p.m. here from Red Wilson Field. Early start here today without any accompanying lighting here today. 0-1 is looped back behind home plate. As it's going to be 0-2 here. It's the leadoff hitter, and Kevin Keister, the Smyrna, Delaware native, had a dazzling outing last night for the Mariners, a team that got 6 multi-hit performances. And Kevin Keister has wasted no time here in the lineup. The 2-strike pitch. Fastball on the letters, and it gets called looking. Keister just lucked at it for too long as the leadoff man is gone here for the Harwich Mariners, and that is a tough pitch to take from the tall right-hander in Smith Pinson.
And that pitch was way up, not even close to the strike zone in my opinion. I mean, it was above the letters. But, I mean, if there's going to be a big zone, that's kind of one of your jobs as a leadoff hitter, to be able to identify that and pass that information along so hitters know to protect, especially with 2 strikes. So Keister will have to kind of be the guy who puts himself on the line, a self-sacrifice, and then hopefully the other hitters can learn from it.
Now over to Ali Gamadio. He bangs it out towards right center field. It splits the outfielders in Austin and Montgomery as it falls in front of the fence. Gamadio taking a turn into second, and he will dive in safely. A 1-out double here for the Texas A&M middle infielder as Ali Gamadio gives a jolt to the Mariners lineup, and it's the game's first hit here in the first.
Yeah, and what a little campaign he's put together as of recently. I mean, really strong. Had 3 singles last night. Another multi-hit game for him. He's at the top of the Mariners in that category at around 7 or 8. He's just been fantastic, especially since being named an All-Star and continuing to improve on that success.
Yeah, he's improved so mightily leading into the All-Star break. We've talked about it a couple of times already. Had 3 straight 2-hit games going into that point. Now over to Elijah Lambros. The first pitch he sees, a slider missing the upper inside corner for ball number 1. Bringing you the defensive alignment for the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox, the top of the Cape Cod East Division standings from left to right in the outfield. Stafford, Austin, Montgomery. On the infield corners, Darby at third, Gleed at first. In the middle infield, Hardy at short, Jackson at second. The catching tonight for Smith Pinson out of Kennesaw State in Garza. An opportunity here for Elijah Lambros to draw across the game's first run. Camarillo dancing off of second as the home plate umpire in Warren Nicholson will say that
Pitch clock violation.
it was a pitch clock violation. Almost looked like he might have balked in a sense. Saw a couple of balks last night in the Mariners' 16-run victory against the Brewster Whitecaps as Pinson hesitated but did not ultimately deem it a balk. So pitch clock violation, the count 2-0 here to Lambros as he takes it low on a changeup. And it's ball 3 here. So Smith Pinson, despite getting the leadoff man gone, and Kevin Keister on a looking strikeout, falling behind in the count here to the Maryland outfielder in Lambros. Still no score here in the top of the first from Red Wilson Field. Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis meeting here for the final time this season. Camarillo on second, 1 away. And the 3-ball pitch from Pinson, and it's taken for a strike down the middle. That'll get me over fastball, 3-1. Smith Pinson coming off a strong season at Kennesaw State. Mentioned the lowest ERA for the program, just under 2.3. Also had a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 5 in nearly 36 innings. Team's closer certainly looking to maximize his performance here in the start for Yarmouth Dennis. Now check back over at second rather, as Jackson, the second baseman, comes over. And Camarillo's caught in a run down the third baseman, and Darby picks him off that time. He applies the tag in between the 5-6 hole as there are 2 away. Camarillo a little bit overzealous on the base paths.
Yeah, he didn't wait for him to come home. Thought he was going to get a good jump, and sometimes you have to kind of do that to give yourself a shot, especially when trying to take third. Much shorter throw for the catcher and Garza, and fortunately they're able to pick him off. Pinson, a nice job there to look over, and pays off to keep the runners honest.
3-1 is spiked back behind home plate as the count runs full here to Lambros out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. So 2 away, the base is empty here for Lambros. Had the opportunity to draw in the game's first run, but a 1-4-5 pickoff at second had Camarillo out after a 1-out double to right center. Pinson, a slow wind, the payoff pitch. Slider cut on a miss, drop third strike. Garza applies the tag as Pinson gets 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. Harwich does not able to get a game's first run here in the first, scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving nobody on as Smith Pinson works out a little bit of trouble after getting the 1-out double. Scoreless going into the bottom of the first here from Yarmouth Dennis. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Smith Pinson, the right-handed starter for Yarmouth Dennis, works out of the stretch for the first time, but Harwich is unable to capitalize as a pickoff at second takes away the go-ahead run for the Mariners here in the first, moving into the bottom of the first here. The lineup for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox at 22-16-1 on the season, leading off the left fielder Ryan Stafford wearing number 7. Batting second, number 9, the center fielder R.J. Austin. Batting third, the right fielder number 15, Braden Montgomery. The cleanup hitter of Mississippi State, number 44, the designated hitter, Hunter Hines. As Tom Shimoleski toes the rubber in his latest start on the season, he deals a first pitch low and inside for ball number 1 here to Ryan Stafford. Batting fifth, the catcher Manny Garza, number 26. Batting sixth, the third baseman Xander Darby. He wears number 12. Batting seventh, the first baseman Dub Gleed. As the pitch is shot out towards right field, and it falls through for a base hit. Batting eighth, the Ryan Jackson, the second baseman, number 6. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 11, Theo Hardy. Well, That'll force Tom Chmielewski to work out of the stretch for the first time here today. And Devin, he has one win on the season, but gave up 3 runs his last outing as he's certainly looking for a convincing start late here in the season.
Yeah, it was kind of a rocky one for Chmielewski. He was credited with the loss in his last start, as you mentioned, why he gave up those 9 hits. He got rocked around early, and his defense really needed to help him out. He was unable to get that, and then had a tough all-star game, so I'm sure he's just been itching to get back on the mound and give his team a chance to win. A guy who comes in with a record of 1-3, tied for the team high in losses, but he has not pitched that way.
Yeah, and his extensiveness has been proven on the mound as well through 6 innings against Brewster back on June 20th for a season high. Now the 1-0 offering, a changeup clip in the lower half at the knees as it goes to 1-1. Still no score here in the first inning between Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis. The final time these two teams meet on the season, Harwich looking to win its first game here on the road against Yarmouth Dennis. 1-1 the count here to R.J. Austin. A pickoff attempt unsuccessful as Ryan Stafford, the leadoff hitter with a single to right field, stands in safely. R.J. Austin looking to move a runner into scoring position here. Stands in from the right side. The 1-1 he sees, a slider low, a good block by Andrew Yu. The count is 2-1, bringing you the defensive alignment for the Harwich Mariners at 17, 21, and 1 on the season. Left to right in the outfield, Cam Leary, Elijah Lambros, and Devin Obie. Left side of the infield, Kevin Keister and Ali Camarillo. Chmielewski set at the belt, look back at first, and the 2-1 is looped back behind home plate foul. The count evens up at 2-2. On the right side of the infield for the Mariners, Daniel Rivera at second, and Talmadge Lecroy of South Carolina at first. Another newcomer in the lineup here today. Has already played a couple of games. They're getting the start at first for Ethan Anderson. The battery made it here to Chmielewski, Andrew Yu of Duke. None away here in the bottom of the first. Chmielewski working out of the stretch here. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful again. Key here for the Mariners will be how they can limit the Yarmouth Dennis lineup with 56 RBIs combined in its last 10 games. A team that has certainly used that to stay top of the East Division standings. Chmielewski, a pickoff attempt back at first. Lecroy, the throw down to second. Camarillo is there, and they have him. So 2 pickoff attempts already here in the first inning as the bases go clear here for the southpaw and Chmielewski, 1 away.
And that's huge to be able to get that leadoff runner out, especially with nobody away. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. Now you can focus fully on the batter and try and get these 2 outs in a shutout first inning.
2-strike pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed as R.J. Austin goes down on strike. Chmielewski with his first punch out on the day. That'll be key for him here to settle in, deal those strikeouts, keep the defense moving behind him in order to quiet the Yarmouth Dennis lineup.
Yeah, really nice job there. High breaking ball sometimes looks a little hanging, and hitters just get so aggressive and want to find a way to put a good swing on it and give it a ride. But unfortunately, Austin a little too antsy that time and swings right through it.
Yeah, especially when you have to protect with 2 strikes as Braden Montgomery takes it high above the letters for ball number 1. Native of Madison, Mississippi, stands in at 6'2", 217. The 1-0 fastball going off the outer corner. This count goes 2-0 here. No score between Yarmouth Dennis and Harwich here in the bottom of the first from Red Wilson Field. Wind blowing out to right field. A breezy afternoon. Some storm clouds lingering in the New England area as well. The 2-ball pitch, foul tipped off the glove of Andrew Yu, straight back as it's 2-1.
And yeah, we're expecting some serious thunderstorms. We thought maybe we weren't going to get the game in today as I left you on the broadcast last night, but here we are. And it's nice and cool now, which usually the sun beating right behind us as it sets here at Red Wilson Field. But good night for baseball, and it looks like we're going to get this game in as the thunderstorms aren't scheduled till around 10. Yeah,
Harwich seriously needs a win despite already being in playoff contention. 2-1, a fastball high. As it's ball 3 here to Braden Montgomery. Harwich was able to win its first in 3 games last night. Nobody on here for Yarmouth Dennis, 2 away. Chmielewski looking to get back in the count. 3-1, a fastball missing high and outside to Montgomery of Stanford out of the Pac-12. A Pac-12 team champion last year in 2022 as he reaches base for the first time today as Chmielewski goes back out of the stretch.
Yeah, and Steve Engler not happy about that pitch. When you think about what Kevin Keister was rung up on back in the first inning, that pitch that Chmielewski just threw was lower, and it looked to be even more over the plate. So frustrated, definitely so, as that was kind of a brutal one.
First pitch to Hunter Hines is lasered out into right center field in front of Lambros. Around second, Braden Montgomery, and he will coast into third with a 2-out RBI base hit here as the Mariners have traffic to work with against here, and that is an opportunity that Chmielewski does not want to see with the heart of the order coming up.
Yeah, Hunter Hines, an all-star for a reason. That's a really good flat swing he puts on this ball to lift it over the second baseman's head. But a better play by Elijah Lambros to cut that ball off before it got to the wall. If it gets to the wall, a run's coming in for the YD Red Sox, and they're going to be on the board first. So nice job by him to cut it off in stride and get it in quickly.
Now over to Manny Garza, the catcher. First pitch, a slider missing low for ball 1. Montgomery on third, Hines on first. No score here in the bottom of the first. 2 away, Chmielewski needing 1 more. The 1-0 offering. Banged over towards the right side, and a foul ball here as it just hit the first base coach next to Talmadge, LeCroy.
He's got an ankle guard, though, on, ironically enough.
So the umpiring crew here today between Yarmouth, Dennis, and Harwich, an East Division battle, calling the balls and strikes. Warren Nicholson at home. At third base is Vince Mariani. At first base, Silvio Martinez. The 1-1 is popped foul back behind home plate to make it 1-2 here to Garza. Native of Rio Grande City, Texas, about 3 hours and 45 minutes from San Antonio, right on the U.S.-Mexico border. In his first 10 games with Yarmouth Dennis, 5 hits with 2 doubles involved. Boy, could Yarmouth Dennis use one here to draw in the game's first runs. The 1-2 from Chmielewski. The left-hander misses low, and the appeal down at first. Silvio Martinez says he went around as Chmielewski gets his second punch out here to close out the opening frame. He leaves runners on the corners in Montgomery and Hines as Yarmouth Dennis comes up and brings 5 to the plate, scores no runs on 2 hits, and no errors, and leaving 2 on. And it's a huge opportunity for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox goes to waste to take the game's first lead. Moving into the second inning, we'll step away. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. First inning of his latest start on the season, Tom Chmielewski gets out of a mini jam, straining runners on the corners. And it's a huge opportunity for Harwich to break the stalemate here with the middle third of the order. And Devin Obie, Cameron Leary, and Brian Arndt due up here. Obie, the outfielder out of Duke at 6'2", 215, facing the tall right-hander in Smith Pinson. He pumps and deals the first pitch, and it takes a bounce on the plate. Below the shoes for ball number 1 here, Y. Kopelman, Devin Dobeck, here on the Harwich Mariners Network with you on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Some dark clouds in the outfield here at Red Wilson Fields. The 1-0, a cut and a miss that time and an off-speed pitch, as it's 1-1 here to the Nashville native. Dominant night last night for Obi, who has continued to improve his presence at the plate this season. 4th home run of the season. 1-1. A cut and a miss that time as it's 1-2. That changeup looks pretty good. Starting off here from Smith Pinson. Devin, he already has 2 strikeouts, as does Shimoleski. It could be a very strong battle between the starters today.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of velocity on his pitches, but his control and movement is phenomenal.
1-2. Tapped back behind into the fence. We'll do it again.
Obi carrying in a 6-game hit streak. That's the largest mark on the team. Also a 10-game on-base streak. That's second on the team.
Continues to find ways to get on base here. It's a chance to do it. The leadoff spot here, the 1-2. Bounced over towards the right side in the air. Jackson at second moves to his left, gets it onto first, and it's in time. Well, he was quite deep into shallow right field. Lip of the outfield grass, didn't face him one bit as there's one away here in the second.
Yeah, and Obi just got that one off the end of the bat. If he barrels this up, this is an easy single all day to right field. Obviously going to want that one back, but Harwich having a little trouble timing the pitcher in Smith Pinson right now. He's just done a really great job of slowing them down and getting them to lunge ahead at pitches, and that's exactly what we just saw from Obi.
The first offering to Cameron Leary, a breaking ball, misses low for ball 1. And you know what was interesting about that? Obi being a right-handed hitter almost seemed as if Jackson was prepared to play the pull that time. So one away here, nobody on for Leary out of Boston College. Left-handed hitter, playing in his second game. The 1-0 is sliced back behind home plate. Garza, the catcher, removes the mask. He moves in front of the Harwich dugout, and he makes the catch for out number 2 here in the second. So Harwich getting aggressive early here in the counts, and Cameron Leary, meanwhile, falling to 0 for 1 on the day.
And that's a really difficult play to make, especially with the wind whipping around like it is now. Alters the ball flight, and for Garza to make that catch on the run, well, not really having an angle is very impressive. He should be happy with that out for his pitcher.
Yeah, it's a great point you make. Winds blowing south-southwest at 7 miles per hour just at first pitch. With 2 outs here in the top of the second, Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis scoreless. Smith Pinson retiring 3 straight now, looks to make it 4 here against Brian Arndt, the designated hitter. First pitch, a fastball missing low at the shoe tops for ball number 1. Harwich has yet to win here at Red Wilson Field this season. An early start here today. The 1-0, lofted deep out towards center field, moving back Austin. He's at the fence. He trots to his left, and he makes the catch for a loud final out here in the second inning as Harwich goes down in order. Smith Pinson, the right-hander of Kennesaw State, faces the minimum for a second straight inning in his latest start on the season. Scoreless going into the bottom half of the second year from Red Wilson Field. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Nothing across for Harwich in the second after a 16-run victory with a single game-high 21 runs last night. Xander Darby drew up against the southpaw and Tom Shimoleski of Princeton. He deals the first pitch, and it's taken on the outer half for strike number 1 here. Shimoleski looking for a convincing victory here, 1-3 on the season, entering tonight with most starts for the Mariners this season. Here's the 0-1 to left-handed hitter, and it's taken low on a changeup. 1-1 here, just underway in the bottom of the second after Harwich had a 1-out double from Ali Camarillo. Could have been an opportunity to bring in the game's first run. Instead, he was picked off at second the first. The 1-1 grounded back up the middle. Camarillo, the shortstop at the lip of the outfield grass, and he falls to one knee. He won't be able to make a play to first. Infield single here, and it's Yarmouth Dennis's third on the game. Camarillo looked prepared that time, just fell out a little bit.
Yeah, I think he overran it and then kind of tied himself up trying to reach back for it, and it just clangs off the heel of the glove, and they will score to hit wide. Good eyes there, and yeah, Camarillo, though, just a tough one. I'm sure one he's going to want back, holds himself to that really high threshold of defensive play. It's a big part of his game, big reason he was an all-star, and unfortunately can't have them all.
And coming off of a very strong season at CSU Northridge, the first offering to Dub Gleed, a fastball attacking the upper half for strike number 1. No score here in the bottom of the second from Yarmouth Dennis. Harwich taking its final trip to Red Wilson Fields. Tom Chmielewski, the starter out of Princeton, facing Dub Gleed, who hit .300 this past season at UC Irvine. The 0-1 deal, a cut and a miss that time high, as it's 0-2 to the 6'3", 205-pound sophomore of Ladera Ranch, California. Big out for Chmielewski to get here after he stranded runners on the corners back in the first to keep it a scoreless ball game. Nonetheless, Yarmouth Dennis got 2 hits as the home plate umpire in Warren Nicholson is gesticulating for Chmielewski to slow down a little bit, and he gets a nod or a shake of the head, for that matter, out of Tom. So a runner on first, a relatively strong lead for Darby. The 0-2 taken low as it's 1-2. Leadoff infield single here for the third baseman in Darby. Just 1 hit for the Mariners and 3 hits for the homestanding Red Sox at 22, 16, and 1 atop of the Cape Cod East Division standings. Breezy afternoon. The 1-2 runner takes off. It goes low. Andrew Yu has trouble picking up out of the dirt. As a stolen base here for Xander Darby. The count's 2-2. And a runner in scoring position here again against Chmielewski.
Yeah, really good jump from Darby that time. And Chmielewski doesn't have the fastest motion going up into his motion. And just, unfortunately, great job by Darby there.
This one bounced over towards the right side. Rivera, the second baseman, calmly gathers. He fires onto first for the first out as that pushes Darby down to third. As I was about to get to, Devin, these two teams very similar with their threatening speed on the base pass, combining for over 100 stolen bases this season. And you'd figure that to be it for the top 4 stolen base teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And an opportunity here for Ryan Jackson up for the first time to draw in the game's first run.
Yeah, and Ryan Jackson, a good spot here with 1 away and the runner 90 feet away. Chmielewski's been pitching to a lot of contact tonight. We'll see if Jackson can put it in play.
Chmielewski misses low for ball number 1 here with 1 away and a runner on third in Xander Darby. Led off with an infield single to Ali Camarillo, the shortstop here. Yarmouth Dennis with 3 hits, but they're scoreless with the Harwich Mariners. 1 away here in the bottom of the second. Chmielewski with the 1-1, bounced up the middle and through and past the glove of Daniel Rivera into center field. That will force Xander Darby home on a 1-out RBI base hit here for Ryan Jackson in the 8th spot, and Yarmouth Dennis has a 1-0 lead here in the second.
Yeah, this was a nice piece of contact, but I'm pretty sure Rivera would have liked to have that one back. It looked like he was set up and prepared for the ball and just missed it. It went right over his glove, and granted, it was hit really hard, but YD taking advantage of Harwich having the infield in, and they're on the board. It's 1-0.
So that sets up Theo Hardy, the shortstop here. The first pitch, a changeup taken on the lower half for strike 1. Yarmouth Dennis taking the game's first lead here tonight after winning the prior 4 matchups. 2 at White House Field, 2 here at Red Wilson. Chmielewski saw the stretch. The left-hander deals the 0-1, and it's tapped off of the cleat of Theo Hardy. As that'll bring up a 2-strike pitch here. Well, Harwich last night actually fell behind 1-0 in the first inning after an early base knock in the opening frame from Brewster, but 13 unanswered runs across the second and the third innings in which he brought 14 to the plate, and you have to figure that if you're Harwich here, a lot of baseball left to be played. Just a 1-run deficit can't scare you too much, even against the best team in the Cape Cod East Division. Chmielewski tries a pickoff attempt, and the runner in Jackson stands back in safely. In addition to the 9-run second inning, got 4 4-run innings last night. Just a marvelous output last night from the Mariners. Another check back over at first. Rather, 3 4-inning outputs. But the Mariners, nonetheless, they did not hold back whatsoever when they were in 2-out hitting situations. And they have the chance to apply that here as the bottom of the order is due up. First, the 0-2 to Hardy. Breaking ball cut on and miss as there's 2 away here in the bottom of the second. That's a great pitch from Chmielewski. He gets his 3rd punch out here in his latest start in the season.
Yeah, he kept it right at the knees and then was able to pull the string, have it fall right off the table, low into almost the dirt, and a nice call from the Harwich coaching staff for that pitch, able to get the hitter and Hardy fishing.
So here's a 286 hitting Ryan Stafford. First pitch fouled back into the fence for strike number 1. Harwich behind 1-0 with 2 away here in the bottom of the second. A runner on first against Tom Shimleski and Ryan Jackson. RBI base hit here to get Yarmouth Dennis on the board. A team that has held Harwich to a 186 hitting average here through the season series. The 0-1 deal. Taken on the inner corner as it's 0-2 here to Stafford. So after getting Theo Hardy down on 3 strikes, Shimleski looks to do that here and keep it to just 1 run of damage with the Mariners trailing by 1 with 2 away here in the second. 0-2. Serve back behind home plate foul. And a loud gasp here from the fans along the first base side of Red Wilson Field as Shimleski will have to try it again. Not too much foul ball contact induced by the Needham, Massachusetts native, and Shimleski looks for that 4th punch out here with 2 away. Out of the stretch here, a look back at first and the 0-2. Fastball cut on and missed. Shimleski gets his 4th strikeout here in the second as he keeps Yarmouth Dennis to just 1 run of damage and a 1-run lead going into the 3rd inning here from Red Wilson Field. Harwich trying to come back and tie it, if not take the lead. But for now, we step aside. A 1-run deficit for Harwich here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom third of the order for the Harwich Mariners due up on the road here against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. 1-0 deficit for Harwich with 1 hit thus far through 2 innings. Talmadge, LeCroy, Andrew Yu, and Daniel Rivera due up against a tall right-handed pitcher in Smith Pinson. The first pitch taken on the inner half at the belt for ball number 1 here to LeCroy. I mean, just reflecting more back on last night, Devin, though, you get a single game high 21 runs last night behind 4 1/3 innings of scoreless relief from Jake Newman. The 1-0 just on the inner corner again at the belt. It's 2-0. Pinson trying a changeup again here. It's Talmadge, LeCroy. But a really special win for the Mariners. And Ethan Anderson, after the game, the first baseman out of Virginia, with a 4-hit night, said it was just a really important night. The 2-0 fastball taken just below the letters as it goes to 2-1. A very timely win for the Mariners as well. You consider how that adds up going into a battle here tonight against a top team, the East Division, before the playoffs roll around. LeCroy ahead in the count. The 2-1 taken high at the letters. Make it 3-1 here, and it just seemed as if everyone really had a morale-boosting kind of night.
Yeah, it was awesome. Everybody had hit. Everybody in the lineup scored at least 2 runs, and I mean there was 5 guys in multi-hit figures, 7 doubles in the ball game. It was awesome.
And it was awesome to the point where not everyone was just relying on the connected hitting, but they got the walks going. They had a good deal of deep counts against Brewster pitching, and that is what you need going into the playoffs when you're looking to go for a deep run. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to LeCroy, the 7-hole hitter, still none away. Here it comes, and it's a cut and a miss as Smith Pinson picks up his 3rd strikeout. He retired the side back in the second, and he has now retired 5 straight. Speaking of grooves, starting to find a groove here, the tall right-hander of Kennesaw State.
Yeah, and Harwich still needs to win a couple games. I mean, you're competing now for your matchup. You definitely want to play the Orleans Firebirds. The Red Sox have had their way with you, winning 4 of 5 thus far, and already up on you again tonight. You've taken 4 of 5 from the Orleans Firebirds, so you've had your way with them, and honestly, 2nd place not out of reach. Only 2.5 games out of that. So if Orleans puts together a skid, Harwich could try and lock up home field advantage. All starts with winning as many games you can, win the innings, and find a way to just move up the ranks.
No balls and a strike here to Andrew Yu as he cuts and misses to bring up a 2-strike pitch here with 1 away in the top of the 3rd here from Red Wilson Field. Yarmouth Dennis leading Harwich 1-0. Nobody on here for the Mariners. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Harwich can try and mount a small comeback here. The 0-2. Yu bangs it to the right side and into the glove of the first baseman in Dub Gleed as the Mariners have 2 outs here in the 3rd. And Andrew Yu has been able to get the contact going as of late, aside from drawing base on balls. But that time, just a good positioning from Dub Gleed, the first baseman. That brings up Daniel Rivera, who had 2 walks last night. Very invaluable in the bottom of the lineup as well.
Yeah, Rivera has been on a tear as of lately. I mean, you think about him having that 3-hit game against Wareham a couple nights ago. He had a pair of doubles, another big double last night. He now has the team high 5 doubles. Tied the Mark Kennedy Jones set before he took off from Harwich, and see if he can continue to build on that offense.
0-1 on the way here, Daniel Rivera. He bangs it back up the middle and over to the second baseman in Jackson, moving to his right. He gets it onto first to Gleed, and it's another 1-2-3 job here for Smith Pinson, the right-hander at 6'8" of Kennesaw State. Retires the Mariners in order as they get nothing across for the second straight inning, trailing 1-0 heading into the bottom half of the 3rd. We'll step away for a moment. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Harwich still trailing 1-0 with Tom Chmielewski, the left-handed starter out of Princeton, back on the mound, set to face R.J. Austin, Braden Montgomery, Hunter Hines in the 2 through 4 spots. First pitch to Jackson, or to Austin for that matter. Slam back into the backstop for strike 1. Chmielewski needing a win here tonight, entering at 1-3 on the season. Facing a tough part of the order here, Austin hitting just under .350 right next to Ryan Jackson. Pitch. Breaking ball just misses outside. 1-1 here to Austin. Harwich behind 1-0, and it's not an insurmountable lead last night, by any means, as it learned last night, in which it came back from a 1-0 deficit after the first, scored 9 in the second. The 1-1. Breaking ball tapped to the left side foul, and it's 1-2. Chmielewski really starting to settle in. He has 3 strikeouts, or 4 strikeouts for that matter, through the first 2 innings. Opportunity here to retire 3 straight. Yarmouth Dennis atop the East Division at 22-16. The 1-2 bounced over towards the left side. 2 bounces for Camadillo. He moves to his right, zips it a high throw onto first, and it's in time as Austin falls to 0 for 2 here tonight. That's a key out for Chmielewski to get him down twice.
Yeah, and to get the leadoff man is huge. The first 2 leadoff men for the Red Sox in innings 1 and 2 were able to reach. One came around and scored. The other was picked off. So to be able to get that, or to keep the bases clear heading into the next batter is huge for Chmielewski.
Here comes another hot hitter for the Red Sox in the 3 spot, and Braden Montgomery hitting just under .325. First pitch, a healthy hack and a miss on a fastball for strike 1. Harwich behind 1-0 with 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd from Red Wilson Field. The wind blowing out to right field. It's been blowing all over the place here this afternoon. The 0-1 to the right-handed hitter, a fastball missing high and outside as it's 1-1. Montgomery with a 1-out walk back in the 1st. Nobody on here for the tall right-handed hitter out of Stanford. 1-1 deal. A cut and a miss. Chmielewski getting ahead in the count again here as it's 1-2. Set to deal another 2-strike pitch to Montgomery. 6 RBIs for the Red Sox this season, 3 doubles and a home run. The 2-strike pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. Shimoleski with his 5th punch out here. And there aren't even 3 innings through here at Red Wilson Field. And the left-hander looks to be in control again.
Yeah, he's been fantastic here tonight. Just power on power that time. You talked about how hot Montgomery's been, but Shimoleski better that time. Blows it right by him. His season-high strikeout total in the Cape League this season has been 5. That came back on June 20th against Brewster.
Hunter Hines lifts it deep out to right field. Obi, the outfielder, moving to his right. He looks up at the fence, and that ball is gone. A solo bomb for Hunter Hines, the Mississippi State product. And oh, by the way, he participated in the home run hitting contest at White House Field this past weekend as the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox doubled their lead. It's 2-0 here in the 3rd.
Yeah, and you can't leave one over the plate to Hines. He will make you pay. One of the premier power hitters in the league and in college baseball. Just saw something he liked and gave it a ride out to right field. His league-leading 11th home run, also leads the league in RBI, and just continues to be on that tear.
Now Shimoleski set to face Manny Garza, the catcher. Still just 2 away here. First pitch, grounded back up to Shimoleski at the mound. He runs over to first, and he makes an underhand toss for the final out of the 3rd inning, but not before a solo bomb from Hunter Hines, his 11th on the season. He has driven the power hitting for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox this season. Going into the middle frames, the Harwich Mariners trail by 2. 1 hit for Harwich and 5 for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Solo home run from Hunter Hines of Mississippi State, giving the Red Sox a padded lead moving into the middle frames. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Novak here with Kevin Keister due up, and back over to my broadcast partner, Devin, for the middle innings. Devin.
Thanks, Wyatt. Kevin Keister carrying his 4-game hit streak in here today, looking to extend it. He was rung up back in the 1st inning on a really high strike. Definitely didn't look to be a strike, but here we are, looking for some revenge. He's ahead in the count 1-0 as Pinson comes set, and the next pitch in there for a strike just below the letters that time, and it's 1-1. And what a find Kevin Keister has been. The leadoff man's gone 2 for 5, 3 for 3, 1 for 5, and 2 for 4 in his time here in Harwich. I mean, it's just been sensational. Had 3 runs and 3 RBIs last night. Arguably his best game. Also walked, was on base 3 times, and he's been such a huge addition to a Harwich offense that desperately needed help. Pitch was fouled off, and now the 1-2 is going to be chopped and foul off to the left, and so we'll stay there.
And Keister got rung up on that high strikeout, as you mentioned, with a fastball from Pinson, and it's a little tough here when you have the tall right-hander on the mound, and Keister, about 5'6", 5'8", for that matter, has to protect here again.
1-2. That one bounced in front of the plate, tried to get him on the breaking ball, but not biting is Keister, and so we stay there at 2-2. Ali Camarillo on deck, followed by Elijah Lambros. The Mariners looking to get some offense. They've only had the 1 hit, which was that double that came from Camarillo back in the 1st inning before he was picked off the base paths. 2-2. Misses outside, and it's 3-2. A lot of ways Keister can get on now. Leadoff walk certainly wouldn't hurt. You'll take a hit as well. As coming set is Pinson, shaking a few signs, not using the pitch com, it seems, although wearing it on his wrist. And 3-2, just low. And it's got to feel good for Keister. If he was rung up on that borderline pitch, I'm sure that would have really sent him into some frustration. But he draws the walk, and so now runner on with nobody away.
Smith Pinson that time was trying to use some leverage from Garza, his catcher, on the frame job, and a nice job by Keister to draw a full count again that time. And you consider what he needs just to be able to get on base. And Mariners, they have to get some hits going. Just one hit after 3 innings, and they know that this 2-0 lead may not be around forever.
This brings up Ali Camarillo, and he has been the ultimate Mariner as of lately. First pitch misses for a ball. It's 1-0. In the last game, went 3 for 6 with 2 runs and 2 RBI. He was coming off a couple 0 for 4 performances, but before that, had a 5-game hit streak. Here comes the 1-0. And it's going to be whacked out into right field and into the glove of Braden Montgomery. Ranges in very quietly and quickly, and so that will be out number 1 here in the 4th.
Yeah, not a lot of velocity coming off the bat that time from Montgomery. Just a little less of a sharp hit from what he had in his prior at-bat with that 1-out double, but the launch angle he's able to get is interesting to the point where it makes him just a really good contact hitter, and that time fell a little bit short.
Pickoff attempt is unsuccessful over at first base, and to the new batter, Elijah Lambros, struck out swinging back in the first inning. First pitch to him, and he's going to be in there for a strike to make it 0-1. Lambros, another guy who's really made an impact since landing in Harwich. They've been really lucky to have him. He's provided power and average and just finds ways to get on base. Up and down the board. Taking a look at what he's been able to do. Coming off a 1 for 5 night, but did have a pair of runs and an RBI. Before that, had 3 straight 2-hit games. He watches a ball miss just low, and it's a ball and a strike now to him. This will be a 6th game for the Mariners this season, and quickly has become an everyday guy for them, someone who's able to produce out of Maryland. Devin Obie on deck. Likely due up, barring a double play here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And it's going to be grounded fair down the third base line into left field. Stepping on third and heading home is going to be Kevin Keister, as it's a stand-up double for Lambros, and he cuts the YD margin in half. Elijah Lambros with a hard ground ball down the line, just skipped over the base past the diving Darby, and was able to score the runner from first in Keister, and now a runner still in scoring position for Harwich.
High velocity has just not been present here tonight for Smith Pinson. That's kind of his approach on the mound, but Lambros was able to sit back on it and drive in Keister and just got enough of it to the point where he wasn't too early. A great job of just getting that run in. Second hit of the game for Harwich.
So it's Devin Obie's turn. He grounded out to second back in the 2nd inning. Coming set is Pinson. Tapping that left leg, comes home. And it's guided in there for a strike 0-1. Yeah, he does not throw hard at all. You see these Harwich hitters having to wait on it. Maybe slide up in the box a little bit, but Obie seems prepared. And sometimes when you're trying to wait too long, you end up just hitting it off the end of the bat like Obie did back in that 2nd inning. 0-1 is cut on a miss to make it 0-2. Nice pitch that time, lower in the zone, and so now Obie going to have to protect with 2 strikes on him. Cameron Leary on deck for the Mariners. Chance to tie this ball game here in the 4th inning. 0-2. Just misses outside to Obie, and it's 1-2. Devin Obie, team leader in a number of categories, including walks. He has 15 of those this season. Also has been able to tally a team-high 4 home runs and the team-high in RBIs with 22. He chops that one softly but foul over towards the third base side, and so it'll stay at 1-2. Yeah, but 22 RBIs. I mean, quite the mark for him. I believe he had 6 or 5 of them last night, matching the season high set by Lorenzo Carrier on his debut way back at Eldridge Park.
Yep. I felt it just yesterday too, Devin.
I know it has been a quick summer nonetheless, just 4 games remaining after today. Here comes the 1-2, and it's going to run in on the hands and catch Devin Obie. He's in some pain, shaking out that right hand. Now crunching over, he's going to need a minute, as that can't feel good, especially with your hand pinned against the handle of the bat. It just really will cause some serious pain and draw out the trainer, Amanda Lusky.
Well, he stayed disciplined at that point and just got a little bit unlucky. Pinson losing a little bit of command and someone not too tended to actually do that. And for Obie just to put another base runner on, albeit not by a walk or a hit, just invaluable here. The Mariners have the tying run at second, 1 base hit here from Cameron Leary, due for a hit here after having a strong outing last night in his debut. This is a new ball game.
Yeah, you got to feel for Obie. That can't feel good, especially on that right hand. His throwing hand going to be tough to grip the baseball if it remains in pain, but hopefully just a stunning injury, and he'll be able to work it out. Most of these guys pretty tough for Harwich. Tough to break them, but everybody feels that pain. It'll be Cam Leary who digs in now. He popped down to the catcher in foul territory back in inning number 2. First pitch to him, drop in there for a strike on the lower weight part of the zone to make it 0-1. Brian Art, the designated hitter, on deck. Harwich trailing 2-1, but they got something brewing here in the 4th. 2 on, 1 away. And now one of the newest members trying to make an impact from Boston College. The 0-1. Misses up high, and it's 1-1. Leary standing in that left-hand side against the righty in Pinson. Leary had a hit in the game last night. Got on base a few times as well. 1 for 4 with a walk. 1-1 misses outside, and it's 2-1. Scored a pair of runs. Also had an RBI. Was really doing it all for Harwich last night when they needed it. I mean, the whole offense was clicking on all cylinders. And trying to build on that success against a really tough YD Red Sox team. It's going to be a balk issued on Smith Pinson, and the Harwich Mariners will catch a break there. Down in a second goes Obie. Over in a third is going to be Lambros. And so Smith Pinson makes a huge mistake, and now no force play, no double play available for the YD Red Sox, and a lot of ways you can score them if you're Cam Leary.
It seemed as if he moved that back foot after coming into the set position.
2-1. He is going to be grounded over to the first baseman in Dub Gleed, and coming in to score is going to be Lambros. Got the job done on what probably would have been a double play ball. You'll take the balk, capitalize on the YD mistake, and so now it's going to be a 2-2 score.
Well, Harwich last night proving why it can rattle off a lot of doubles at any point in the season, taking advantage of a Brewster team that was right around its mark with run prevention over its prior 5 games. And here tonight, Harwich also just relying on different modes of getting guys home, and RBI groundouts have been the calling card at points this season.
Brian Arndt's turn, flew out to center in his first at-bat, gave the ball a good ride. He's had a home run here at YD. Actually was his first way back. He's behind in the count, 0-1. Talmadge LeCroy on deck for the Mariners, who've evened the ball game at 2, despite having just 2 hits. And only 1 here in inning number 4. That one's swung on and missed, and the ball gets away, but not moving from third is going to be Obie. And the count's going to be 0-2 as Arndt went around on that one. Beautiful night here in Yarmouth, Massachusetts, home of Dennis Yarmouth High School, where the YD Red Sox play, along with the DY Dolphins. Hovering around 80 degrees, but a nice breeze blowing in. You can definitely tell that there's a storm brewing. Here comes the 0-2 to Brian Arndt. And it's going to be popped foul back over everything and into the parking lot. Might have got a piece of a car, it sure did sound like. And so we stay at 0-2. I always park pretty strategically to try not to get hit by a foul ball at Red Wilson Field. That's one of the few flaws in the design of this ballpark is you got the parking lot not even 30 yards away from the ball field. 0-2. Swing and miss. Ball gets away. They're going to have to make a throw down. And it's bounced in the dirt and dug out. Dub Gleed saves a run by digging that out of the dirt and bails out his catcher in Manny Garza. But the Mariners even it up at 2. After a leadoff walk, a double, and a hit batsman, we stand locked up. To the bottom of the 4th we go. 2-2 Mariners and Red Sox in a tight one. We'll be right back for the home half on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. To the home half of the 4th we go. Xander Darby, Dub Gleed, and Ryan Jackson, 2 up for the YD Red Sox. Darby had a single, stole a base, came around to score a run in the 2nd inning. That was the first run of the ball game. As we have a call to the bullpen. That is over for Shimoleski. 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. A bit of a head scratcher to pull him this early, especially a guy who's gotten more than 5 innings in 4 of his first 5 starts. But you got to think with playoffs on the horizon, maybe a strategic move to have him start game 1 if he's going to be here, which it seems like he will be, and we shall see. It's going to be a 1-1 count now to Xander Darby as Drew Byers out of Georgia Tech is the new wing, native of Nashville, Tennessee. Went to Ensworth High School, just like Devin Obie and Andrew Yu, all from the same stomping grounds. 6'1", 195-pound right-handed pitcher, is a rising sophomore, or redshirt sophomore, rather. He's behind in the count, 2-1 now to Xander Darby, who is ever dangerous. The pitch misses outside, and it's 3-1. Byers a 2-1 record in the FCBL for the Orlando Snappers, or the FCSL rather. 4.75 earned run average. Played 9 games, 6 starts. Has 3-2 count now. 30 1/3 innings already this summer. 19 strikeouts to 30 walks and 30 hits. It was not his best campaign out there, but bringing to Harwich, new opportunity and a chance to help out a team in the playoff race. 3-2. is going to be lined into right field for a base hit. Xander Darby able to jump on a big full count pitch and lift it into right field to start the 4th inning. 3rd time that YD's had the leadoff man on.
He's been a tough out to get thus far, and Ali Camarillo almost had him on what would have been a spectacular acrobatic play on the ground. His first time up, it was an infield single, and now makes it a 2-for-2 night against Byers. He works out of the stretch.
Dub Gleed's turn, grounded out to second back in inning number 2. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to miss low for a ball, 1-0. Dub Gleed, also known as William Gleed by the more formal people in his life, arrived here in the middle of the summer for the Red Sox and has been an integral part of their success remaining at the top of the East Division. 1-0. Bounced in the dirt, 2-0. So Drew Byers with some control problems early on here. Gleed this season out of UC Irvine, hitting just 167 for the Sox, but a 245 on-base percentage. Plays tremendous defense, and it's a big reason he's in the lineup a lot of times for Scott Pickler. 2 balls, no strikes. As those condemning clouds begin to roll in, should not affect today's ball game. Still a lot of sun as well, as that one's cracked, broke his bat down the third base line, foul, and so it'll be 2-1.
And Byers had a unique journey, given that he actually never played at Notre Dame before going off to a different school in Samford of the Southern Conference. Actually dealt 6 strikeouts through just over 5 innings, and then at Georgia Tech this past season only pitched 2 1/3 innings. So just an opportunity here late in the season with Harwich in the playoff hunt to get himself some innings to pitch here, and that's sometimes what can make or break a particular career when you're looking to get it back on track. Injuries your first year of college baseball are always really tough to work around.
Here comes the 2-1 to Gleed, and it's going to miss outside for a ball, 3-1. Ryan Jackson on deck for the Sox. They squandered their 2-run lead back in the top of the 4th inning as the Mariners were able to rattle off a couple thanks to a walk, a hit batsman, and a double. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful over at first, is back in there with a dive is going to be Gleed. Drew Byers working out of the stretch. Looks in, comes set, and here's the pitch. It's going to be popped up, fouled back, and so the count is moved to 3-2.
That's what Yarmouth Dennis can do, move pitchers deep into counts, and right now, opportunity well alive here to move a runner in scoring position.
That one's fouled off, and so we'll stay at 3-2. Good at bat from Gleed this time, making the new arm and Byers work. Byers has started 6 games this summer, as we mentioned. But back at Georgia Tech did not make a single start, only pitched 3 games. Checked his swing that time. Sure did look like he went, but no, so says first base umpire Silvio Martinez, and so it'll be a walk. First and second now with nobody away.
And right now, if you're Byers, can't be too concerned on trying pickoff attempts over at first when you need to get quick outs. Still none away here in the bottom of the 4th, and Yarmouth Dennis very much in command to actually take another lead as R.J. Thomas, the pitching coach, goes out to have a word with Andrew Yu and Byers, the right-hander.
Yeah, they're going to try and work on it, figure it out. It's not been an easy transition into this ball game and into this league so far for Drew Byers. 2 on, nobody away, and heading into the bottom 2 in the order of Ryan Jackson and Theo Hardy. Thomas exits, and we'll see if what he said to pitcher and Drew Byers hit home.
And his slider has just not been commanding too far. It's had a little bit of movement, but right now Byers just needs to deal strikes here.
Here comes the first pitch to Ryan Jackson. Shows bunt, and it gets by Andrew Yu instead. Just about the best case scenario if you're YD. Don't have to give up an out, and both runners can move up. Andrew Yu, one he should have had, and it'll be a 1-0 count now with the runners on second and third.
Although it was a pitch that I'm sure Byers wanted Jackson to lunge at low in the zone. Andrew, you has to have that pass ball. Once again, hurting the Mariners. They don't want to throw any wild pitches here.
Jackson already has a single on the day. That came back in the second inning. He's hitting .350 this season with a .458 on base percentage and .933 OPS. In his 16th game, he's just been fantastic for YD. 2-0 in there for a strike to make it 2-1. YD coming in as a team with an OPS of .707 to go along with an average of .253. Harwich at just .250 and a .694 on base percentage. That one's grounded over to the shortstop, Camarillo. He's going to go over to first in time, but a run does come in to score and put the Sox back on top at 3-2. The other runner in Gleed staying at second, nowhere to go, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, both of these teams have sort of flirted with each other's hitting attacks thus far, if you maybe call it that. I mean, Yarmouth Dennis got the solo home run from Hunter Hines back in the third, but just working different angles to get around the base pass. You had the RBI single from Ryan Jackson, and Harwich with an RBI ground out, matched by Yarmouth Dennis.
Here comes the pitch to Theo Hardy. Instead, it's going to be a pickoff attempt. Back in there safely is the runner in Gleed. Byers a long look in, now comes set, tapping that left leg, and here comes the pitch. Runs inside, almost got the batter, but it'll just be a ball, 1-0. Hardy was the third strikeout victim of Tom Shimoleski back in inning number 2. Trying to put this one in play with a runner in scoring position. He grounds it softly over to Daniel Rivera. Kind of ate him up a little bit, but he stays with it, makes the play on to first as the runner advances down to third in Gleed, but there's 2 away.
Seemed like it was a little bit more of a hard-hit ground ball than what Rivera expected. Still did a good job to recover in position at the same time as well. So good factors that time in order to get a second out. But just Byers needing one more here to keep it a 1-run game.
Ryan Stafford, not an easy customer to get through in that vein. Had a single back in the first. Also was the 4th strikeout victim of Tom Shimoleski. It's a 1-0 count now as Byers falls behind. YD 90 feet away from doubling their lead. As here comes the 1-0. Misses outside, 2-0. On deck, R.J. Austin. Plenty of power heading into the middle of this YD order. They have a really solid lineup all season long, and that one really caught the hitter and Ryan Stafford right off his back. A hit batsman here in the 4th inning will bring up the 6th batter of the inning in R.J. Austin.
Just not a good start here for Byers, although he's gotten some help from his defense. He's dealt a couple of 3-ball pitches already, and that time tried a fastball. It just wasn't well located, and Stafford able to reach as a 2-out base runner. And a double here for R.J. Austin, very much in due for a hit here. Could make it a 3-run lead here.
Austin very much due. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball to shortstop. As it'll be a stolen base. Down to second goes Stafford. Took off on without a throw. And so now 2 in scoring position and only a forced play at first base. A ball and no strikes. Byers trying to regather his control. Here comes the pitch. And it's going to be lined foul over into the seats. That one came in hot. Luckily, everybody seemed to be paying attention over there. I remember last year someone got nailed with a foul ball down that third baseline because there's no fence. I mean, everybody able to just pull up right on the field. And, yeah, it was ugly. Ambulances and everything as Austin's going to ground that one past the sliding Rivera. The ball jumped up right over the glove of Daniel Rivera. And the throw home, not going to get the runner. And in a second is R.J. Austin. It's a 2-run single for the All-Star and the YD Red Sox, up 5-2 now.
And I'm not sure how much longer they're going to give Byers with this 2-out rally, because Yarmouth Dennis has found a way just to take advantage of either Byers' mistakes in locating pitches when he doesn't have the command of the zone, and that time just a fastball kind of left over the plate. And the Mariners all of a sudden find themselves back behind, and this time it's by 3 runs.
Yeah, R.J. Austin with a big hit that time, past the sliding Rivera. Looked like he was going to have a chance to get there, but the ball took a funky hop and went right into right field. Harwich now trailing 5-2, just as they work their way all the way back. And that one runs inside to make it 1-1 now to Braden Montgomery. Montgomery walked back in the first inning, struck out swinging in the third. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Hunter Hines on deck. He's got some serious power. Definitely want to find a way to get Montgomery so you don't have to run into that until next inning. Bottom of the fourth, 5-2 Sox. There goes the runner, and it's going to be grounded over to Camarillo, and it bounces off him. He can't make the play. In to scores another run in R.J. Austin, and yeah, this infield's not been kind to Harwich. That one just clanged off the wrong way and went right into the chest. Seemed like it was going to be an easy one to field between the legs, and yeah, just jumped up. That one not on. They actually will rule an error, but just a finicky play, and the Red Sox now lead it 6-2.
Camarillo was well in front of the ball that time, and to the point where the Mariners have had just trouble fielding at certain times this year.
First pitch to Hines, misses outside, 1-0. And yeah, I'm not going to knock Ali for that one, though. I mean, it just took a really funny hop right off the lip of the infield, jumped up onto him. And with a speedy runner like Braden Montgomery, even if you recover, you're not going to be able to make the play. And so a tough error granted to him there, but Harwich going to have to roll with it. That run that came in will be unearned in what's been a 4-run fourth thus far for the Sox. Hines, the 8th hitter in the inning. Even in the count, 1-1. There goes the runner. It's going to be grounded over to Rivera. He's able to field, go on to first, and it's in time. 4-3 put out to end an eventful fourth inning. They hit batsman an error, a couple singles, and a walk. Give the Red Sox a 4-run lead. They're out in front 6-2. We'll be back for the 5th inning in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back here in the 5th inning as the first pitch is chopped by LeCroy over to first. It's a 6-3 putout to get us underway instantaneously here in the top of the 5th inning. YD coming off a 4-run frame to lead it 6-2 as LeCroy's retired, and Andrew Yu will now dig in. LeCroy, Yu, Rivera due up in the inning. LeCroy already with the ground out. Andrew Yu had a line out to first base back in inning number 3 as first pitch misses down at the knees, and it's 0-1. You, a guy who's started to pick up his offense after a really slow start since arriving in Harwich. Andrew Yu hitting 205 above the 200 mark, which has got to feel good. A 327 on base percentage, though. Continues to find ways to be patient at bats and work pitchers to get on base. The 0-2 misses up high, and it's 1-2. Sun shining right over the press box here at Red Wilson Field on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, right before the storm here in Yarmouth. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Off-speed pitch, and Yu swings right over the top of it. Be another strikeout for Smith Pinson, who's been sensational here tonight. His 5th, and there's 2 away. Daniel Rivera grounded out to second back in the 3rd inning, looking to put a better swing on this one, as the first pitch from Pinson is going to be inside for a ball. 1-0. On deck, top of the order, Kevin Keister. Next pitch misses down low, 2-0. Daniel Rivera hit 9th last night for the Mariners. Was able to clock in with a double. He was the last Mariner to pick up a hit last night, as everyone in the lineup found a way to get on base using the bat. It was really just up and down the board, a fantastic offensive night. 2-0 offering to Rivera. Bounced in the dirt, and it's 3-0. Rivera trying to extend this inning here with 2 away, as here comes the pitch. And it's right down the middle for a strike, keeping the at-bat alive. Harwich trying to string together a couple wins late in the season and make a push for second place to get that home field advantage. They're not off to a hot start here tonight, as that one's popped up. Plenty of room for Manny Garza. Ranging under it, he's called off by Xander Darby, and that's how the inning ends. A pop out to the 3rd baseman. It's a 1-2-3 5th. Halfway home here at Red Wilson Field. Red Sox leading it 6-2. We'll be right back in a flash. Don't go anywhere on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. To the 5th inning we go. Manny Garza leading things off against the new wing, which is Griffin Kern. Kern coming in for the Mariners, and he'll be making his 2nd appearance. He's only gone 1 inning thus far, giving up 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts to 1 walk, and a whip of 2. 2 balls and no strikes now to Manny Garza. First guy to face the new wing, and the pitch is going to miss down low again, 3-0. Tough day for Drew Byers in his debut. Only 1 inning 2 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, a walk, and no strikeouts. As that one's going to be in there for a strike, dialed in, and it's 3-1. Three-one is going to miss inside, and it's a 5-pitch walk from Griffin Kern. Kern out of Quincy College. Season comes in 6'3", 225 pounds, excuse me. Left-hander.
Couple of scores around the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Highness Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Cavaliers just underway in the bottom of the first. No score from Lowell Park. That's the only other active game right now at the early start.
Pitch is fouled off to make it 0-1.
And a couple of other West Division matchups as well. The Wareham Gatemen visiting the Falmouth Commodores. Riley Eichhoff out of Coastal Carolina. He's 1-1 on the season as the Gatemen are looking for a late season win against the Commodores towards the bottom of the West Division. And then the Brewster Whitecaps also going to Eldridge Park, take on the Orleans Firebirds. Brandon Lissick of Texas Tech. He's 0-1, looking for his first win on the season against Sam Hloboki. 0-3 on the year. That one at 6:30 p.m. for first pitch.
1-1 is going to be lined, but foul off to the right. It's 1-2. Score 6-2 in favor of the Red Sox, out hitting the Mariners 7-2. Mariners also have committed an error tonight, as opposed to none for the Red Sox. Darby on the day, a pair of singles and a pair of runs. Also has swiped a base. It's been a pretty good night for him at the plate, but now a lefty-on-lefty matchup. We'll see how he responds. Swings through that one. High cheese that time from Griffin Kern, and it's his first strikeout to make it 1 away.
These are going to be really important outs for Kern to get here, especially after get up the leadoff walk. A Yarmouth Dennis team that is averaging just under 5.3 runs per game, 5th in the Cape Cod Baseball League, aside from the job that Smith Pinson has done tonight. Yarmouth Dennis doing a good job of putting pressure on Harwich pitching.
Here comes the first pitch to Dub Gleed, and it's going to be ripped way out into center field. Going out is Elijah Lambros, and he hauls it in on the run. A tough play, and so that will be out number 2 here. Gave that one a ride for sure. Well, under it easily is Lambros, and that brings up Ryan Jackson here with 2 away and a runner on first.
Had the RBI single back in the second, and for Jackson, he has certainly been a vital piece to provide some balance throughout the order here, especially for a Yarmouth Dennis team that's looking to stay at the top.
First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Jackson on the day, a single and a ground out to short. Looking for another hit to try and extend the inning for the Sox, as this one's going to be chopped softly over to the pitcher and Kern. He'll go over to first. Tough throw, and the stretch from Lee Croy is enough. Only a 4-batter inning for the Sox. They're held scoreless here as it's 6-2. Heading to the 6th inning here from Red Wilson Field. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. To the 6th inning we go, and it's a call to the bullpen as Will Armbruster will toe the rubber for the Red Sox, coming in relief of the starter in Smith Pinson, who was fantastic for not being a traditional starter. Went 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He's lined up for the win. As it stands, his team's giving him a 4-run cushion as he hands it over to Will Armbruster. Armbruster, 6'6", 230-pound right-hander out of Arizona State, making just his 2nd appearance for the Sox. Has thrown 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 strikeout, no walks, and a whip of 1.50. Heading the count is Kevin Keister, 1-0, as the pitch from the big righty is swung on and missed to make it 1-1. Ali Camarillo on deck. Harwich desperately in need of some offense here as time and outs dwindling. Here comes the 1-1 to Keister. And it's going to miss up high to make it 2-1. Keister on the day is struck out looking. That was to lead off the ball game. Then walked, came around to score in that 4th inning that Harwich initially tied the ball game at 2 apiece. 2-1 is going to be grounded over to the 3rd baseman in Xander Darby. He'll field, go on to first. In time, a 5-3 putout to start the 6th.
Pinson was outstanding once again, had 4 strikeouts, just dealt 1 walk, and for someone averaging nearly 6 strikeouts per outing this season, Pinson, as you said, in line for the win, and he's given quick outs for this Yarmouth Dennis pitching staff and handing it over to Armbruster, making his 2nd outing on the season. And the way it looks right now, Harwich just unable to get enough runners in a scoring position, and that has been a struggle for them at times against dominant right-handed starters like Pinson.
So here comes Ali Camarillo. On the day has doubled before being picked off, also has flied out to left field as he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees to make it 0-1. Elijah Lambros also due up in the inning. He awaits on deck. Here comes the 0-1 from the big righty and Armbruster. And it's going to just miss. Must have been outside to make it 1-1. That breeze continues to whip around here as the sun starts to sneak behind the clouds. Of course, no lights here, so visibility a key thing. You definitely want the sun to stay out as long as possible. 1-1 misses down low, and it's 2-1. Camarillo on the season for the Mariners comes in hitting .213 with a .263 on base percentage. The All-Stars really started to get going and get hot at the right time, transferring to Texas A&M. 2-1 is going to be ripped into center field for a base hit. A really good swing that time from Camarillo. He looks so smooth up there at the plate. I mean, getting those hands inside early and just barreling up baseballs. He's had a lot of line drives as of late. And now the Mariners have some one-out action on the base paths.
And they're not all pitches up in the zone either. Camarillo is adept at being able to get them from around the zone. So no matter if you're commanding or not, and right now Armbruster having to work out of the stretch, just a tough part of the line to face. Elijah Lambros looking for a 2nd hit as well.
Here comes the first pitch to Lambros, and it's in there for a strike at the knees to make it 0-1. Lambros struck out swinging in the 1st and then doubled, came around to score in the 4th inning. Mariners trail by 4, 6-2 here against the Red Sox, being out hit 7-3. Pickoff attempt is unsuccessful. Camarillo back in there safely. The ball skitters away, but not far enough to get a jump. So it's 0-1. Devin Obie on deck. And despite being hit by that pitch back in inning number 4, seems to be okay and ready to go for his 3rd at-bat. As Lambros tries to find a way to get on base and Mariners looking to rally. Here comes the 0-1. In there for a strike, 0-2. And yeah, there's been some high strikes called. That one more borderline than some of the others we've seen. So got to find a way to protect if you're Harwich. As Armbruster takes a look over at first, and now ready for the 0-2. Misses up high that time, way high, and it's 1-2. Lambros out of Maryland, a Terrapin, trying to continue moving around the stations for the M's as that one's bounced in the dirt. A really nice stop as Camarillo is going to be caught in a rundown. And he's being chased by the first baseman and tagged out by Dub Gleed. Caught stealing. He's been picked off the base paths twice here today. And honestly, Camarillo just the victim of a really good play by Manny Garza. I mean, this ball was dug out. It was in the dirt. Camarillo got a good read on it and elected to go down to second, but he was gunned out. Really nice job by Garza to pick it out and then get Camarillo with plenty of time. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lambros. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. First strikeout for Will Armbruster, and he faces the minimum in his first inning of work thanks to a caught stealing by Manny Garza. We'll take a quick break and be back for the home half of the 6-2 Sox on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the 6, 9-1-2 due up for the Red Sox. They lead it 6-2 here on a now cool evening at Red Wilson Field. First pitch in there for a strike from Griffin Kern, who's back out there for his second inning of work. Only faced 4 batters in the 5th despite a leadoff walk. Looked like there would be trouble brewing from a control standpoint, but really was able to pull it back together. It's 1 ball and 1 strike now to Theo Hardy, the shortstop. He struck out swinging back in the 2nd and grounded out to second base back in the 4th. The pitch. Misses down low, 2-1. 6-2 Red Sox. It's Harwich looking to find a way to string together some offense, but it all starts with getting off the field. 2-1. Grounded over to Camarillo on the backhand, makes the stab. The throw on to first is in time. But no, off the bag was LeCroy. He says he tagged him, and the umpires might have to get together to discuss this as Steve Engler going to march out and have a conversation with Silvio Martinez. What a play by Ali Camarillo just to knock that down and get the throw on. LeCroy says that he made the tag, and so now Martinez and Engler going to have a conversation.
Well, I'm also surprised the home plate umpire Warren Nicholson saw the tag attempt that time from the first baseman in LeCroy, and I think Talmadge is now happy that they're actually going to go and invest a little bit more conversation to this because he was off the bag, but the swipe was across the body. It was above the belt.
And hopefully this will be ruled out. And what a play by Camarillo, as I mentioned, and LeCroy to be able to come off the bag and apply the tag as he said he did. And so they will rule him out after all that. And the base runner and Theo Hardy kind of knows that no argument from him. As soon as the gesture was made, he'll jog right off the field, and there's one away.
And that could be a huge changing point in this game when Camarillo was on the cusp of being charged with an E6, and he's had a tough time fielding a couple balls at short today, not direct from him, not conducive to any struggle on his part. He's just gotten some tough balls in the dirt and on the grass as well. So for him to be able to make that out converge is huge.
So Hardy's retired, but yeah, I'm going to say it again for one final time. What a play by Ali Camarillo to knock that one down and make the throw on target. I mean, especially with all your weight and momentum pulling you the opposite way to muscle it over there in the air, too. Didn't even have to bounce it. It was a really good play. First pitch is going to be flied out into center field. coming in is Lambros, and he makes the catch for out number 2, 2 up, 2 down for the pitcher in Kern. He's started to settle down really nice. 5 in a row retired.
He showed this potential as well when it was the 9th inning at Chatham, and Harwich had arguably its biggest win of the season on the road against a division opponent, aside from the 2 it got against Orleans. Kern, he deals quickly, and he's still out of the stretch here with nobody on.
That one misses inside, 1-0. R.J. Austin, the batter, hitting .349 in his 26th game this season. He's certain to be drafted next year in the MLB draft. He's been so integral in the Cape League and started in left for the East All-Star team, as I think a car just got smoked out in the parking lot. And yeah, I would just never want to park that close to the gate here. I mean, just such a risky territory that you're signing up for. 2 balls and a strike now to Austin, who on the day is 1 for 3. Struck out swinging in the first, grounded out to short in the third, and singled, came around to score in inning number 4. 2-1. Just below the knees, and it Austin, the center fielder tonight for the Sox. Kern comes set, and the pitch is grounded over to Camarillo. A couple high hops. He gathers on to first in time. So 1-2-3-6 for Griffin Kern, giving his team a chance to stay in the ball game. The Sox lead at 6-2 as we take a quick break and return for the final third of the ball game here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into the 7th inning of action. Will Armbruster back out there for the Red Sox with a 6-2 cushion. Heading into the middle third of the order, I pass the play-by-play duties back over to my partner, Wyatt Kopelman, for the final 3 innings of this one.
All right, Devin Obie takes a healthy hack and a miss for strike number 1, batting here in the cleanup spot today. Still looking for his first hit here. Has the longest on-base streak here for the Mariners this season, next to Brian Arndt. Arndt with 13 games now. Obie looking to extend it to nearly 10 at this point. Meanwhile, Armbruster back out for the second inning of relief. He deals a slider cut on and missed for strike number 2. Harwich behind 6-2 over Yarmouth Dennis. Moving into the final frames here. If you're just joining us late, Harwich getting its lone 2 runs in the 4th inning. Armbruster, another tall right-hander in the game. Hands together, the 0-2 missing low and away. Fastball 1-2. Harwich still 5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. Obie trying to stay alive here in a leadoff spot in the 7th. The 2-strike pitch, serve back into the screen, and we'll do it again. So for the Mariners here today, getting a good deal of production out of the upper third of the lineup, particularly with a 2-hit day, another 2-hit day for that matter, from Ali Camarillo, rising junior at Texas A&M, and Elijah Lambros with an RBI hit as well. But that's all. 2-strike pitch again. It's tapped to the left side, foul.
I think someone made a play with the glove.
Yep, calm applause over there just past the Yarmouth Dennis dugout.
Wow, someone was about to get nailed by that until the glove came out of nowhere.
A beautiful afternoon here at Yarmouth Dennis. The sun re-emerging from the clouds, wind blowing back out to left field. The 2-strike pitch from Armbruster off the glove of Garza behind home plate. 2-2 here. Obi hitting .259 on the season, hit his 4th home run last night. Has 22 RBIs to this point, just underway here on the top of the 7th. No hits from the middle third of the order. Obi out of Nashville, Tennessee, trying to change that here. The 2-2 from Armbruster. Slider popped foul back behind home plate. Obi, a rising junior at Duke in his sophomore season, hit .232, 10 RBIs. Had a 4-hit night last night that had that home run in addition to a double in a 21-5 rout against Brewster. The 2-2. Fastball backs Obi off the plate on the inner half. As the count runs full here for the first time to Obi, the right fielder. Harwich not beating Yarmouth Dennis since opening day. A narrow victory. That was a 5-out save from Jacob Gomez. Payoff pitch, fastball foul back into the screen. What an at-bat here for Devin Obi.
Yeah.
A huge quality that he just brings. And for Harwich to have him for most of the season is just a huge characteristic that they'll need in their lineup as the final 4 Cape Cod East Division battles come to a close. The payoff pitch, and it goes just high above the letters as Obi is able to near 10 pitches in the at-bat. He gets a leadoff walk, and that it might be the best at-bat that the Harwich Mariners have gotten all day long, albeit it's a plate appearance for Obi.
I was really impressed with that from Obi, just not going away, even with 2 strikes on him, continuing to stay in, hover around the plate, crowd it, and then just foul off pitch after pitch until finally he was able to work his way on. He's the ultimate team guy, and really great job by him to find his way down to first here with nobody away.
Over to Cameron Leary. Bethpage, New York native, grounds it over towards the right side. The second baseman Jackson flips the second for 1. The throw back to first, and it's in time. As there are quickly 2 away here in the 7th as Yarmouth Dennis turns its 26th double play on the season. But just going back to Obi for a moment, Devin, in his last 5 games, he had 8 hits, 7 RBIs, 7 runs. A huge night last night as it was for the entire Mariners lineup. It speaks a lot to the versatility that he brings to this lineup. Now with 16 walks on the season, as that turns it over here to Brian Arndt, 0 for 2 here tonight, looking for that first hit. The bases go clear here for the UNC Wilmington Seahawks catcher. So a 4-6-3 double play, helping out the first reliever out of the pen in Armbruster, the right-hander. He deals the first pitch to Arndt, and it's a slider at the knees inside for strike number 1. Harwich behind 6-2 here with now 2 gone in the 7th. The 0-1 offering misses low in the righty-righty battle as it's 1-1. So Cameron Leary and Elijah Lambros getting RBI plays. Leary with an RBI ground out to first base. Elijah Lambros, meanwhile, coming across the score after the RBI double to left. The 1-1, a cut and miss on a slider, 1-2. So after an explosive night last night in which the Mariners got a single season high 21 runs, their bats have gone quiet here. But Brian Arndt, another versatile hitter in this lineup, used to hitting in the middle third of the lineup, looks to give Harwich its 4th hit. The 1-2, a cut and a miss instead, as a breaking ball had him just out in front. So a 4-6-3 double play and a strikeout here for Armbruster, his 2nd. Sends the Mariners down with just 3 as they score no runs on no hits, no errors, and leave nobody on. Still trailing Yarmouth Dennis 6-2 going into the bottom half of the 7th. Time to stretch here at Red Wilson Field. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Griffin Kern, the southpaw reliever, back on for the bottom of the 7th inning. Faced only 4 back in the 5th and 3 in the 6th, but his Harwich Mariners trailed the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox 6-2. 3 hits for the Mariners, 7 hits here for the Red Sox, featuring a solo bomb from Hunter Hines, his 11th on the season, and he has been dominant this year for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. First pitch to Braden Montgomery, a cut and a miss on a high fastball for strike number 1. The 3-hole hitter out of Stanford, playing just about 10 games here for the Red Sox this season, and he started to come on here in the top of the lineup. 0-1, a check swing, the appeal down to first. And Silvio Martinez says he held up.
Oh, no way.
I'm not sure about that one. It's 1-1 here to the leadoff hitter in Montgomery, looking for his first hit here on the day. The 1-1 from Kern. And the Quincy pitcher deals it on the lower inside corner just below the belt. As it's 1-2. Griffin Kern, strong second outing here on the season. Looking for his second punch out here. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Fastball served out towards center field, backing up Lambros, and he's able to make the catch, going all the way back to the warning track that time, and that is the versatility that Elijah Lambros brings, and he's a new arrival, but he looks like he's been here all year.
Yeah, that was a really great play by Lambros. Had to leap to kind of get a glove on that, and I tell you, it's so pivotal that he was able to get that out, because if you're Harwich and you weren't able to get that strike call on the check swing, extra base hit definitely would have added insult to injury.
First offering to Hunter Hines, the big power lefty bat, back into the screen for strike 1. A tough out to get in Braden Montgomery, who was looking for his first hit after 3 tries. He had a walk in the first and reached on an error from Camadillo, the shortstop, in the 4th. After hitting .336 at Stanford, the pitch skied over to the left side. And it's in foul territory as Kevin Keister of Maryland moves to his right, and he makes the catch just outside the third base coach's box. As there a 2-way here in the 7th, Griffin Kern has done an exceptional job, Devin. He now has 8 straight retired here, and it looks like he's been pitching for a long time.
Yeah, no, he's really settled down nicely. I've been impressed, and this is what you need out of your bullpen. I mean, you lose guys like Aiden Moza, who are lights out. Cole Rowland has pitched recently, so you need guys to step up and be able to handle the load.
A shot over towards Rivera at second from Garza, the catcher, and he zips it on to first for LeCroy. As it's another 1-2-3 job here for the southpaw in Griffin Kern of Quincy of Division II baseball. Yarmouth Dennis goes down in order again, nothing across, as the Mariners still trail 6-2 going into the 8th here from Red Wilson Field. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Harwich behind by 4, trailing 6-2 against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox on the road at Red Wilson Field for the final time on the season. Talmadge LeCroy, the first baseman, due up with the rest of the lower third of the order here. Harwich getting its lone 2 runs in the 4th. First pitch, shot deep out towards left field. Stafford, the left fielder, going back, and it bounces in front of the fence. A wide turnaround first here for LeCroy, and he will coast into second with a leadoff double as that forces Armbruster to work out of the stretch.
Big shot there from LeCroy, his first real ride he's given a baseball since landing in Harwich, and got almost all of that one. One hopped onto the wall and got to feel pretty good to have that leadoff double, and maybe your team can get behind that and build off the momentum.
Harwich getting its first hit since the top of the fourth, in which it got a ground out to third unassisted for an RBI, as Andrew Yu, the catcher out of Duke, steps in here. Runner in scoring position to work with for Armbruster, who had a 3.86 ERA this past season at Arizona State, made 5 appearances, did not garner a win or a loss. So that's the 4th hit of the day here for the Mariners. Righty-righty battle. The first pitch to Yu is slammed back behind home plate for strike number 1. That is the jolts that this lower third of the order needed, Devin. It was 0 for 6 before the leadoff double here from Lee Croy. So a 4-run deficit here for Harwich, an opportunity to draw a run closer here. Andrew Yu looking for a timely RBI here. Armbruster brings the 0-1 home, and it's a slider low and away as it's 1-1.
And you got people who can put together hits. Daniel Rivera on deck. He's been on fire lately, followed by Kevin Keister. If Harwich can just find a way to keep this thing in motion and move runners from station to station, they could at least cut into this 4-run deficit and make the 9th more bearable.
Look back at second. Armbruster with the 1-1. A fastball missing high and inside for ball number 2. Andrew Yu entering today hitting .205. Lined out to first back in the 3rd, struck out swinging in the 5th. Working with Lee Croy on second after a leadoff double. Armbruster with the minimum to face in the 7th. The 2-1. Serve deep out towards right center field, and it falls in front of Montgomery for a base hit. Lee Croy with a turnaround third, and he will be able to reach scoring. An RBI double here, or single for that matter, for Andrew Yu. And the Mariners now trail only by 3. Yu getting his 2nd RBI in the season.
This was a really nice swing to sit back on this pitch and just give it a ride up and away in the zone. Gets a barrel part of the bat on it and just flies it right out into that alley, able to drive in the run as well. And now Harwich starting to get something going here.
And it's an opportunity to continue this 8th inning rally here as Daniel Rivera steps in after earning 2 walks last night. Top of the order due up as well. Rivera, the 9-hole hitter here today. First pitch taken just high on changeup for ball 1. Smith Pinson did an excellent job, was in the line for the win after 5 innings. He gave 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts dealt, averaging just under 6 this season. But Armbruster trying to keep it to just 1 run of damage here. The 1-0 bounce in the dirt as it's 2-0 here to Rivera, the Southern New Hampshire transfer. Also looking for his first hit here. Griffin Kern, exceptional as the 2nd reliever for the Mariners here. And we mentioned it earlier, has retired 9 straight to this point, as he retired Yarmouth Dennis in order in the 7th. Harwich already getting a run here in the 8th with an RBI base knock for Andrew Yu, as that will draw out Manny Garza to have a word here with the reliever and Armbruster. He's just making his 2nd outing on the season and running into a Harwich team that is trying to put together some runs late. You need to get your bats going, and running out of outs here, just 6 outs to work with, but Armbruster just having a tough time in getting those outs to begin with.
And John Raiola also going to make his way out to the mound and talk things over with Armbruster. They still have that 3-run lead, but if he continues to give up these hits, they will mount. And heading into the heart of the order, Harwich could change it, especially with the short porches here at Red Wilson Field. One swing of the bat can make this a whole new ball game.
A near capacity crowd here tonight at Red Wilson Fields. All of a sudden, the ominous clouds in the sky have completely broken here. Wind blowing out to right field now as the home plate umpire and Warren Nicholson goes out to adjourn the mound meeting here. Manny Garza out of Rice, still having a couple more parting words here with the reliever in Armbruster. Just the first reliever here for Yarmouth Dennis's pitching staff. So an RBI base hit here for Andrew Yu, scoring Harwich's first run since the 4th after an RBI ground out from Cameron Leary and an RBI double from Elijah Lambros. 1 on, still nobody away here in the top of the 8th. The 2-0 fastball way high, as it was a little chin music that time. 3-0 here. So that tells you a little bit about what the mound meeting involved. Trying to go to the fastball a little bit here, as Armbruster has been relatively unsuccessful with the off-speed. The 3-0, a fastball again high and inside. A 4-pitch walk here to Daniel Rivera as he reaches for the first time here today. And he draws his 11th walk on the season. And that comes to no surprise with Rivera's being so tough in the bottom of the lineup to take so many pitches deep.
Yeah, and you'll take that 4-pitch walk. YD's going to get action going in the pen. Actually appears to be Landon Beitelshe's the all-star reliever up and going, and he's going to be brought into the ballgame right now.
So Scott Pickler wasting no time here with a struggling Will Armbruster on the mound after giving up the RBI single and a leadoff double here to Talmadge LeCroy in his second inning of relief, or his third inning of relief for that matter. His day comes to a close as the Harwich Mariners starting to threaten here, trailing 6-3. We'll step aside. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Landon Beitelshe's the left-hander out of Ohio State, the new reliever here into the ball game. Working immediately out of the stretch with runners on first and second here. Still none away in the top of the eighth. Kevin Keister, the leadoff hitter today, back up. Wind blowing out from home plate. First pitch. The Maryland products watched it on the inner half for strike number one. The line's still open here for Will Armbruster of Arizona State. He pitched 2+ innings, 3 hits, 2 walks issued, and 2 strikeouts dealt. A 6-3 deficit for Harwich with a tying run at the plate in Keister. The 0-1. Lofted deep out towards center field. Austin going back to the track. He looks up, and that ball is gone. A 3-run bomb for Kevin Keister, and it's his first long ball on the season, and the Harwich Mariners have tied the ball game here in the 8th. The second pitch from Landon Beitelshe's, and it costs him as it's at 6-6 here in the Cape Cod East Division battle.
How about a 3-run jack in the crunch time? What a blast. I mean, that was awesome to watch. Kevin Keister, a big at-bat, and I'm waiting for him to show that smile after he just roped one to dead center field to tie the ball game. There it is. What a blast, and not a better time to do it off one of the best relievers in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Beitelshe's with just a 2.19 ERA entering today's pitch, nearly 20 innings. Here's the first pitch to Ali Camarillo, a slider missing inside at the knees. We just mentioned it as well. The wind has been blowing all over the place here tonight, and Keister certainly gave it a good charge right off the bat. Took a pitch just about in the middle of the zone that time. Here's the 1-0 offering from the left-hander, and it misses inside as the count goes to 2-0. Harwich is in desperate need of a win here after losing in its prior 2 visits here to Red Wilson Field, a team, the Red Sox, that have maintained their top place in the East Division standings. The 2-0 offering. Skied over towards the right side into foul territory. That forces the first baseman Gleed into foul territory as he looks like he ran out of room. Now a 6-6 ball game here as Ali Camarillo is still ahead in the count 2-1. Had a 1-out double to right center back in the first. Flat out to right field in the fourth and singled to center field in the sixth before getting caught stealing. A 2-ball pitch missing low as it goes to 3-1 here. Well, the Mariners have looked to this Maryland duo in Kevin Keister and Elijah Lambros for a good jolt in their lineup as the season draws to a close. And the 3-ball pitch lofted out towards right center field, moving to his left. Austin, the center fielder, instead leaves it over for the right fielder in Montgomery as there's finally one away here in the eighth in what's been a troublesome inning for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, Devin, that have had the lowest ERA in the Cape Cod Baseball League to this point.
Yeah, nobody saw this coming. I mean, the Mariners have jumped all over them and found a way to just continue to be resilient and score runs. I mean, this is so encouraging going into the postseason to see your team just continuing to fight and put together offense even when they're trailing by a good margin in 4. I mean, this is awesome. All good signs pointing in the right direction.
1-0 count here to Lambros as he makes it 1-1 with a foul ball back to the screen. So the base is empty here for Landon Beitelschieß. Left-hander for the Red Sox. Not giving up too many long runs this year. 1-1, a breaking ball clip in the upper half that goes to 1-2. Well, we talked about the deficit earlier the Mariners faced with Yarmouth Dennis padding its lead with 4 runs in the bottom of the fourth to make it that 4-run lead. Mariners responded well. 1-2, a slider missing low and away. 2-2 the count here to Lambros. Could not have asked for a better start to their tenure here in Harwich in Lambros and Keister. A 2-strike pitch from Beitelschieß. Slider cut on and missed as Lambros goes down on strikes for the 3rd time here today. That time a good pitch from Beitelschieß, able to pitch low, and that's certainly what you want to do to be able to get quick outs here as there are 2 away here in the 8th.
Yeah, just a nasty one that time. Off-speed pitching. Got him down in the zone. And now there's 2 away, but unfortunately the damage has been done for Harwich. Got to find a way to take this lead now.
First deal here to Devin Obie, taking out the letters for strike number 1. Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis tied at 6 after being tied at 2 going into the bottom of the 4th. The pitch taken low and inside on a slider as it's 1-1.
Keep going. Don't be content. Don't stop. Find a way to get another run.
Yeah, nobody on here, but Devin Obie very capable of reaching. 2 away. The 1-1. Driven high and deep out towards center field. Moving back, Austin, the center fielder again. He leaps at the fence, and that ball is gone. A solo bomb for Devin Obie. He hits his 5th home run and the 2nd in 2 days, and the Mariners take their first lead on the ball game at 7-6.
Wow, I mean, this is awesome. And nobody saw this coming against Beitelschieß, a guy who's come in with just an unbelievable 2.28 earned run average, and he's just getting shelled right now, giving up 2 home runs in the inning, and Harwich out in front. Nobody saw this coming.
So Beitelschieß set to face Cameron Leary, and what the jolt that the Mariners needed here, as it's a huge tack and a miss for strike number 1. A 5-run 8th inning here for the Mariners. Just mentioned that they trailed 6-2. 0-1. The left-hander takes it on the upper half as it goes to 0-2. Now the wind blowing out to right field. Devin Obie with a huge knock to give the Mariners that first lead after tying it in the 3rd. 0-2. Driven deep out towards shallow center field for that matter. Moving on, the center fielder Austin, he loses the hat on the way for the loud final out here in the 8th inning. But Devin Obie hitting a solo bomb. Kevin Keister driving in 3 with the home run to center field. And pressure on Landon Beitelschieß as he immediately worked out of the stretch. The Harwich Mariners get 5 runs on nearly a handful of hits, and they now have 7 hits on the ball game to take their first lead at 7-6. Going into the bottom half of the 8th, as Griffin Kern, the left-handed reliever, goes back on. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Xander Darby, Dub Gleed, Ryan Jackson, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up here. And they face a 1-run deficit. The first pitch here from Griffin Kern taken down the middle for strike number 1. Griffin Kern now working with the lead after the Mariners trailed by 4 entering the 8th inning. And now moving into the bottom of the 8th, Darby already with 2 hits on the day. The next pitch taken on a changeup low as it's quickly 0-2 here to Darby. A changing of the course of the game here. A solo bomb from Devin Obie after a 3-run jack from Kevin Keister. Here's a 2-strike pitch, and it's just taken on the outer corner. 1-2 here to Darby, 2 for 3 here today. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners Network on a breezy evening here. The ominous clouds have returned here at Red Wilson Field. 1-2, just taken low. And with the ominous clouds, an ominous hitting attack here in the 8th against Landon Beitelshees out of Ohio State. It was a struggling Will Armbruster. Just pitched 2+ innings, gave it 3 hits with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, the 2-2. Lifted high out towards right center field, moving back Lambros, and Obie, the right fielder, leaps at the fence, and he makes the catch. Devin Obie all over the place here today after a season-high 5 hits last night, and the Mariners get 1 out here for Griffin Kern in the bottom of the 8th, and an excellent catch that time from the Nashville native.
I mean, yeah, he's having himself a night. A really beautiful grab that time in front of the fence. Leaps up, makes it. It's a tall fence, not like the one at White House. So forced to jump and made a great play.
A great play it was as Dub Gleed watches on the lower half for strike number 1 here. Griffin Kern, since entering in the 5th inning, has only allowed 1 base runner as a leadoff walk to Manny Garza. Here's the 0-1 try, and it's bounced over towards the left side. A rolling ball for Camadillo. He gets up, fires onto first, and it's in time. 2 away here in the 8th. Griffin Kern, he had retired a good deal of batters after giving up the leadoff walk. Just 2 away here, and Griffin Kern on the verge of getting his 3rd 1-2-3 job here.
So here we go. Find a way to get a 1-2-3, get your offense, who's red hot, back up there, and maybe try and find a way to win this game ever so sneakily.
And you have to think that the Mariners will be looking for insurance runs. First pitch here to Ryan Jackson. Fastball missing low and inside, just above the shoe tops for ball 1. 11 straight retired here from Griffin Kern as the Mariners lead 7-6 with 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. The 1-0, a fastball painted on the inner half as the count evens up at 1-1 here. Jackson here on the evening, 1 for 3 after an RBI single to center field back in the 2nd. Here's the 1-1. And it's lifted out towards center field, right in the direction of Lambros, and the Maryland outfielder makes the catch for another 1-2-3 job here for the left-hander. In Griffin Kern out of Quincy, Illinois, he has been convincing thus far, keeping Yarmouth Dennis just 1 base runner since the start of the 5th inning. Harwich trying to preserve a 7-6 lead, if not extend it, moving into the 9th inning. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the ninth here with the Harwich Mariners taking their first lead of the ball game after 5 runs in the 8th inning. A 3-run home run from Kevin Keister and a solo home run for Devin Obie as Brian Arndt, Talmadge Lecroy, and Andrew Yu do up here against Landon Beidelshees. He stays out here for the ninth. The first pitch on a slider taken down the middle for strike number 1. Harwich lacking a hit before the 8th inning. It was the first since the 4th. Beidelshees of Ohio State deals a slider low and inside. The count evens up at 1-1 to the Holly Springs, North Carolina native in Arndt. 7 runs on 7 hits for the Mariners, 6 runs on 7 hits for the Red Sox. There's the 1-1 offering, and it's a fastball cut on and missed high. It goes to 1-2. The wind blowing from left to right in the outfield. It was blowing out from home plate on the 3-run blast here from Kevin Keister. The 1-2, driven to the right side, foul. We'll do it again. So Landon Beidelshees filling the first reliever for Yarmouth Dennis in Will Armbruster of Arizona State. He gave up 3 earned runs, 2 walks issued aside from 2 strikeouts dealt. Aren't looking to avoid a punch out here. Here's the 1-2 try. And it's belted back behind home plate as Aren't doing a good job of fighting off a few pitches here from the southpaw of Ohio State. Beidelshees, meanwhile, Devin entering with nearly 30 strikeouts on the season. And he's gotten one here before the solo bomb from Devin Obie. Here's the 1-2, and a fastball misses high as the count goes to 2-2. Just having a tough time getting outs here. Obie with 2 outs. He got the solo home run after getting a huge home run last night in the Mariners' 16-run win over Brewster. A 2-strike pitch again from Beidelshees. Slider cut on and missed as Arndt was a little bit out in front of it as it's the 9th strikeout here for Yarmouth Dennis pitching, but quite an erupting and ominous 8th inning as the ominous clouds continue to move through here at Red Wilson Field. They're looking to preserve that 1-run lead.
Yeah, just a good pitch that time. Was able to catch Arndt off guard with an off-speed pitch, probably sitting on a fastball, and sometimes it's all it takes. A big out number 1 for Beidelshees, and he's going to have to get a few more of those so his team has a chance.
His team led 6-2 going into the top of the 8th, but the Mariners with a 3-run home run from Kevin Keister and a solo bomb from Devin Obie, taking that lead that they need. The 0-1 now, and as it goes inside on a fastball, as it's 1-1. Lecroy 1 for 3 here today. Had a double to right field back in the 8th. Left field, for that matter. 1 away. Here's the 1-1. Lecroy chops it foul to the left side. He's down to a 1-2 count. Nobody on here for Harwich, leading 7-6 over Yarmouth Dennis. Lost its prior 2 visits here in Yarmouth Dennis. Just a really breezy night. It was about 7 miles per hour at first pitch. Beyond that here, 2-strike pitch from Beidelshees, and the changeup just misses low. Lecroy smiling at that one as it's 2-2. It was really close, wasn't it?
Really close pitch.
A lot of close verdicts from the home plate umpire and Warren Nicholson. A 2-strike pitch again from the left-hander, and it's ripped to the left side foul. What a game it has been between 2 Cape Cod East Division opponents. Harwich not beating Yarmouth Dennis since doing so on opening day back at White House Fields. Yarmouth Dennis entering today at 22-16 on the season. Took a 2-0 lead into the middle innings before Harwich got 2 in the 4th on a RBI ground out and RBI double. But a 4-run inning got Yarmouth Dennis's lineup awake again. So 1 away, nobody on here for Lecroy, South Carolina. The 2-2, a slider missing high and inside the letters. Count runs full here. Beidelshees having a tough time and just winning counts here. He's retired 2 straight, however, looks to make it 3. The payoff pitch. Misses low. A great take that time from Talmadge Lecroy as he reaches for the 2nd time in a row here. It's a 1-out base runner for Harwich. An opportunity with Andrew Yu coming back up, getting the RBI base hit back in the 8th to stretch the lead here.
Yeah, and he had a really good swing. It was a big part of that rally in the 8th inning to get on and be one of the runners to score and tie the ball game. I mean, if you're Harwich, find a way to continue to pour it on. I mean, this 1-run lead not safe, especially against a YD offense who's going to come up and give you 9-1-2. So find a way to just get some more insurance, especially if it's going to be Griffin Kern coming out for the 9th.
Pitch goes low here to Yu. The throw down to 2nd for a stealing Lecroy, and he's going to be out. An excellent recovery that time by Garza as he was able to gun down the South Carolina product. The bases go clear. There are 2 outs here for Andrew Yu, but you think back to finding a way as Ethan Anderson was pinch running for Lecroy that time. Now the 1-0 try here to you, and a fastball taken down the middle as it goes to 1-1. You think back to the first time the Mariners were here at Red Wilson Field, they had a lead going into the 9th inning until Yarmouth Dennis capitalized on some errors. 1-1 is served to the right side foul as it's 1-2. A game-ending error, if you remember, that went against Kenny Lavari, the third baseman, that cost the Mariners that road victory.
That was a tough one.
It was a tough one, and the Mariners had 3 errors on that night. The 1-2 from the southpaw, fastball missing high. So 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Harwich with a 7-6 lead after a 3-run home run and a solo shot from Devin Obey in the 8th. And a 2-2. And a half swing, and it's tapped to the right side foul. Defensive swing that time from the Nashville native in you. Nobody on for him to work with here. Harwich with 7 hits to this point. A 2-2 again from Beidelshees. A fastball zipping high as it goes to 3-2. So they pinch ran Talmadge Lecroy with Ethan Anderson. A lefty-righty battle here, 2 away. And the payoff pitch. Laced to the left side foul. Just a little bit early that time, and seems as if it wasn't the most aggressive swing either.
Yeah, just a defensive one once again. It went right into the seats. Luckily, everybody seemed to have gotten out of the way. Another scary one.
The 3-2 from Beidelshees. Fastball taken on the inner half at the belt as you got caught looking for too long. The 10th strikeout here for Yarmouth Dennis pitching. The 3rd for the left-hander out of Ohio State as the Mariners bring up only the minimum. And 2 strikeouts here for Landon Beidelshees gets Yarmouth Dennis back up and will bring to the tying run to the plate moving into the bottom half of the 9th. 7 hits apiece for either side here in the Cape Cod East Division battle. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Griffin Korn, the left-handed reliever out of Quincy of Division II baseball, in his 2nd relief outing on the season. He stays on the mound for his 4th inning in relief. The wind blowing out to right field here for Theo Hardy, the 9-hole hitter, with Yarmouth Dennis trailing the Harwich Mariners 7-6. The first pitch, the San Jose State product, missing low and inside. As Brady Day pinch hits. So Day out of Kansas State, pinch hitting for Theo Hardy, finished 0 for 3 here today. A 1-0 deal, a fastball taken at the belt as it goes to 1-1 here. Griffin Korn has been excellent. He has retired 12 straight to this point since allowing a leadoff walk to Manny Garza, the catcher, in the bottom of the 5th. Lefty-lefty battle. 1-1, a cut and a miss on a slider as it goes to 1-2. That slider has been really troublesome for this Yarmouth Dennis lineup. Has really yet to figure out how to avoid that here from Griffin Kern, working out of the stretch here despite having nobody on against him. The 1-2 deal. Breaking ball smashed to the left side foul. We'll do it again.
Brady Day, a really tough and good hitter for YD to plug into the lineup, an all-star, and he's going to make it count.
Everything is translated for Day this season after hitting .356 at Kansas State. The 1-2 takes a bounce in front of the plate as the count goes level at 2-2. Ethan Anderson, a defensive replacement here for Talmadge LeCroy. Anderson last night with a season-high 4 hits, 2 RBIs as well, was absolutely dominant towards the top of the order. The Mariners won by 16, a single-game high 21 runs this season. A lefty-lefty battle here at 2-2. Fastball cut on and missed. Day goes down on strikes for the first time in the pinch hit spot, and it's just the second strikeout here as the defense has been moving quite well behind Kern as there's one away.
Big pitch that time to pick up another strikeout, just his second of the outing, but yeah, Kern has really done a great job since coming in relief for Byers, who got into a bunch of messes early on and really has kept the door shut to allow his team a chance to get back into this game, and they've rewarded him.
Harwich is 2 outs away as the first pitch here to Ryan Stafford taken low and outside for ball 1.
This would be the most thrilling victory of the season other than the walk-offs, I think.
Definitely the most thrilling, but never over until it is. The 1-0 slider missing low and inside as it's 2-0. Stafford here on the day leading off for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, 1 for 3. And a leadoff single to right fields in the first. Nobody on here with Harwich ahead 7-6. The 2-0 skips low as it goes to 3-0. This is what Griffin Kern can ill afford to do here, falling behind in counts for a Yarmouth Dennis team that has hit Harwich hard this season. 56 RBIs in its last 10 games as well. A 1 away and nobody on here. The 3-ball pitch. Changeup taken at the knees as it goes to 3-1. That's a nice buy-in pitch here from Griffin Kern out of Quincy. Making his second outing on the season here. He's been quite impressive, arguably one of the most impressive relief outings from the Mariners this season. The 3-ball pitch just misses inside of the belt. A 5-pitch walk here to Ryan Stafford as he earns his first walk on the day. And a rare base runner as it's the second walk surrendered here from Griffin Kern. And you have to just take and appreciate what Kern was able to do just in his second outing here on the season, as that will draw out Steve Englert. And I'm not sure if he'll go to a pitching change here. He's yet to give the sign. And indeed, he will make a call to the bullpen. And despite a ground ball opportunity available to close out the game here for Griffin Kern, the southpaw of Quincy, Englert instead goes to a new relief arm. As the Mariners lead 7-6, we'll step away. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. One away in the top of the ninth, the Harwich Mariners trying to close it out here against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. For the first time on the road this season, R.J. Austin due up and a call to the bullpen here as the Mariners go to their third reliever, and this time out of Angelo State, it's Scott Ellis at 6-0, a $185. Pitch a scoreless inning in his debut at Hyannis. A 2-run loss there. The first pitch taken high, a back pick down to first, and Anderson was prepared, but the tag not in time. So an interesting move here as Scott Ellis fills Griffin Kern for that matter, out of Quincy of Division II. His partial line reading 4 1/3 innings, issued 2 walks, but got 2 strikeouts. His defense really moving behind him to keep him to no hits. Here's the 1-0 offering to Austin, and a changeup just misses low as it's 2-0. Steve Englert with some fomenting words here for Scott Ellis, the right-handed reliever, just to keep him in the zone. He works with a runner on first with a 1-out walk from Ryan Stafford. The 2-ball pitch. And that time the fastball in the inner half as it's 2-1. Harwich ahead 7-6. 1 away here in the top or in the bottom of the ninth for that matter. Game-winning run up here. R.J. Austin just with a hit here. He's due. As a 2-1 bounce in the dirt, a good block by Yu, and does not make a back pick down to first. That's a good decision that time. Throwing the ball away, runners at third.
That was a big stop by Andrew Yu, especially a guy who's really struggled with some pass balls as of late. To be able to knock that down in a clutch situation is huge.
Ellis out of the stretch from the first base side. The 3-1 just misses at the letters. It's a 5-pitch walk here. So after the 1-out walk surrendered by Griffin Kern, that is runners on first and second now. Braden Montgomery coming up. And speaking of guys, Dude Evan still without a base hit here today in a troubling situation here for the right-hander.
And you got Hunter Hines on deck. I mean, this is not going to get any easier. I mean, Harwich almost needs a ground ball double play because Hunter Hines is going to find a home for this one. You can almost guarantee.
So Montgomery with 10 hits as he taps it back behind home plate for strike number 1. 0 for 2 today, earned a walk back in the first. A 7-6 lead for Harwich. The tying run at second now in Stafford, and the game-winning run in Austin at first. 7 hits apiece for the Mariners after they trailed by 2. Entering the fourth, they got 2 back in that inning on an RBI groundout and an RBI double from Elijah Lambros out of Maryland. He has been quite hot for the Mariners in his first handful of games this season. The win could go here to Griffin Kern if the Mariners are able to hang on and strand at least 2 on the base paths here. Just still 1 away here for the left-handed hitting Braden Montgomery. Out of Stanford, the 0-1 awaits, and he drills it into right field, backing up Obi, the right fielder. He makes the catch, and that forces both runners to retreat. That one a laser that time, and it was a pull hit, and Scott Ellis getting some huge help from the outfielders, 2 away.
Yeah, that thing was tattooed out to right field, but right at Devin Obi. If it's anywhere else, Mariners are in trouble, and that'll draw out R.J. Thomas, talk it over.
The pitching coach in R.J. Thomas, also the head coach at Hendrix College, going out to have a word with the Angelo State product. For Braden Montgomery, he entered with 10 hits and 6 RBIs through just a handful of games this season. Just under 10 for that matter, as Thomas now going over mechanics with the right-hand reliever in Scott Ellis. Formerly pitched at Texas Tech this past season. Made his debut on the Thursday before the All-Star game, just last Thursday for that matter. Davis, scoreless inning in a 5-3 loss at Hyannis. He had just 1 hit and dealt 2 strikeouts this past season at Angelo State. Quite commanding with the strikeouts, very reliant in that sense, Devin, with 39 strikeouts at a 2.95 ERA to work his way to 6 wins. Angelo State, the powerhouse Division II program in the Lone Star Conference, 56 wins toward a Division II national championship, but he faces his tallest task here with 2 on and 2 away. The cleanup hitter in Hunter Hines already with a home run in this game for his 11th on the season. Righty-lefty battle. The first offering slammed back behind home plate for strike number 1. Well, he's 2 strikes away from getting that crucial out here.
Much easier said than done against one of the best hitters in the league. Already has a home run tonight.
Absolutely.
And a single.
Stafford on second, Austin on first here. The 0-1 deal. Boomed back behind home plate. And the YD Red Sox are down to their final strike here. Trailing 7-6 after a 5-run 8th inning, a 3-run home run from Kevin Keister of Maryland, a solo shot from Devin Obi, his second in 2 days here. Ellis with the 0-2. taken just low, almost a check swing, and Yu was set to apply the tag, but he held up. It's 1-2. So Keister, or rather Scott Ellis out of Angelo State, trying a breaking ball low, and he's unsuccessful. He'll have to try it again here. Opportunity for his first strikeout and would be his biggest on the season. 2 outs, 2 on. Ellis, the 1-2. Just taken on the inner half on a fastball at the belt, and the entire Harwich dugout in a bit of disbelief verbally as the count goes even here.
I mean, yeah, we've seen pitches that aren't even nearly as close as that one was.
2-2. Fastball on the inner half as Hines gets called looking. The Harwich Mariners with 5 runs in the 8th inning and with 2 on against Scott Ellis, the reliever. He strikes out Hunter Hines, the biggest hitter in the ballgame for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. A 7-6 victory for the Harwich Mariners with 5 unanswered runs after falling behind 6-2 moving into the late frames. The most thrilling win on the season for the Mariners. They get it done in their final visit to Red Wilson Field, and we'll break it all down here on the Harwich Mariners post-game show. But for now, a 7-6 win for the Mariners. We'll step aside. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Thrilling victory for the Harwich Mariners. They win back-to-back games after scoring a single game-high 21 runs last night against the Brewster Whitecaps. And another night and another win over the Cape Cod East Division foes. In this time, it's the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox now falling to 22-17. Harwich moving to 18-21-1 on the season. Devin, Harwich entered 5 games behind for first place against these Red Sox, and then 5 unanswered runs in the 8th inning, a 3-run shot from Kevin Keister, a solo bomb from Devin Obie, and they were certainly able to find that continuity in the lineup again.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a great team win, and Griffin Kern, someone that really needs to be highlighted here. 4 1/3 innings, no hits, no runs, gave up just 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. He was sensational, a guy coming in after Drew Byers had a really tough outing, gave up 4 runs, only 3 earned, but the Mariners were in desperate need of some help, and Kern left them an opportunity to get back in it, and then they were able to deliver with Kevin Keister and Devin Obie.
Scott and Griffin Kern getting his first win on the season. And in addition to Scott Ellis getting his first save, it was a gutsy performance by the pitching staff, and you consider Yarmouth Dennis trying to finish as strong as possible before the postseason, already clinching in the Cape Cod East Division standings as the Mariners did last night, but certainly a burning loss and a very resounding victory for the Mariners, having lost 2 already here against Yarmouth Dennis, and it seemed as if the run production wasn't there from the start, and instead the Mariners get a convincing win, probably their biggest on the season next to that 10-2 victory over Katuitt.
Yeah, I mean, this was just awesome to see them come back and be resilient. This is exactly what you want to see out of this group heading into the postseason. I mean, they were able to get good pitching when it mattered, and the offense was able to back them up. Can't complain there. It was just a really good game for the Mariners, and to take one at Red Wilson Field's always good.
Landon Beitelschieß, he picks up the loss after giving up 3 earned runs, rather 2, in the 8th inning. It was a solo home run from Devin Obie and a 3-run home run from Kevin Keister that also tagged Will Armbruster of Arizona State with 3 earned runs. Harwich wins 7-6, 7 hits apiece here in a thrilling victory after Harwich lost its tie in the 4th inning, a 4-run bottom of the 4th for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. No score from that point until the Mariners piled on 5 runs on the bomb, as well as the 3-run shot from Kevin Keister. That will just about do it. And a ball game that lasted 2 hours and 30 minutes here at Red Wilson Field. Griffin Kern, he picks up the win for his first on the season, and it's the first save on the year for Scott Ellis out of Angelo State, a Division II baseball, a pair of Division II relievers, as the Mariners look to make it 3 in a row tomorrow. Return to White House Field, take on the Chad Mangers. That will do it for our broadcast crew here at Red Wilson Field, and our producer, Sean Sears, and for my broadcast partner, Devin Doback. I'm Wyatt Copeland saying so long here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Remind you to always live